A crime scene. A single drop of infected blood accidentally falls into the police chief's eye. From that moment on, his personality and his body undergo a radical transformation. While he'd always been a man who despised evil, he still strictly required his subordinates to enforce the law by the book. But after being infected by that drop of blood, not only did his personality turn violent, leading him to use excessive force, but the lame leg he'd broken not long ago suddenly healed. He no longer needed a crutch to walk, but what shocked him even more was his newfound incredible strength. He could easily crush an iron stool in the interrogation room. One night, as he was heading home from work, he happened to see a man with blood on his face. Looking like he'd just done something wrong, the man furtively drove off in a van. The chief saw this and sensed something was wrong. He quickly got in his car and quietly followed. He saw the man park in an alley, open a manhole cover on the street, and disappear into the sewer. So he immediately drew his service weapon and cautiously entered the sewer. Just as he suspected, he saw the man had just finished dismembering a body. He'd thrown it into a bathtub and was about to use strong acid to dissolve the evidence. Seeing this, the chief's mind snapped, and he flew into a rage. The man desperately tried to explain that he was just a cleaner, not the actual murderer. But the chief, his face a mask of fury, slowly advanced. The man was utterly terrified. He begged the chief to arrest him and take him to the station, but this was no longer the man he used to be. He'd rather deliver justice on the spot than arrest the criminal, lock him up for a few years, and then see him released to harm more innocent people. Please. I already told you, the Toad is the one. Just arrest me. Arrest me. We're past that. Please. The next day, Gordon and his partner arrived at the scene to find two dismembered bodies. One of them belonged to a man named Paul, a cleaner who disposed of bodies for the mob. The other body, which had been dissolved in acid, had its face inexplicably skinned, making it impossible to identify. When the chief learned the John Doe had been skinned, he ignored Gordon and his partner's strong objections and decided to take charge of the case himself. He then went straight to a bar to find the man the cleaner had named the night before, the Toad. He demanded the Toad come with him to the station for questioning. But, in your dreams, pig. But to everyone's astonishment, the usually calm and by-the-book police chief was like a different man. With fists the size of cinder blocks, he quickly dispatched the thugs. He then turned on the Toad, who had tried to ambush him. He beat him relentlessly until he broke, finally getting the origin of the unidentified body. It turns out there's a plastic surgeon who specializes in giving new faces to mobsters. He's been using the Toad to dispose of the victims' bodies. The chief threw him in the trunk, and following his directions, arrived at the surgeon's underground clinic. He walked in just as the surgeon was preparing to skin an innocent woman. What shocked the chief even more was a nearby jar of solution where 5 or 6 human faces were floating. Seeing this, the chief flew into a rage once again. He knocked the heartless surgeon to the ground with a few punches. Then he drew his gun, ready to deliver justice on the spot. I'm not under arrest. But unexpectedly, the surgeon's words seemed to snap the chief back to his senses. However, as the chief arrested the man and prepared to prosecute him according to the law, he was in for a shock. The surgeon used his connections to mysteriously evade justice. Not only that, he brazenly showed up at a party hosted by the mayor. Seeing this, the chief was utterly enraged. He waited until the surgeon went to the restroom and quietly followed him in, determined to serve justice his own way. You're insane. No, doctor, I've never been saner than I am right now. You have to follow the law. I am the law. I am the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and I alone hold the power to decide your fate.